guilty. So that's what happened. And from that time, I knew something was going to take place. So that end of that year, after all this information came in, I knew that it wasn't going to be the same. So what happened was I said, okay, Tunkashila, Grandpa, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm tired of being who I am. I'm not comfortable with who I am. I got discrimination in me. I got prejudice in me. I'm angry and this and that. And I'll put that aside. What do you want me to do? So the doors open up. And that's where everybody else start coming in. You know, the people I didn't know. I didn't know who Maitreya was. I didn't know. I didn't know who Buddha was. I didn't know any of these, all these masters that come and introduce themselves because of this opening. But what happened was we got called to D.C. Joan, her sister, and I and another man, we got called to D.C., Washington, D.C., and we ended up in ceremony at a sweat lodge. And the sweat lodge was behind a mansion that belonged to a 4-star general. We had sweat lodge. And in that sweat lodge where we did ceremony, there was a spirit that come in. And when I seen him, I knew exactly who he was. And when he come up, he said, "My name is Jesus Christ." So I said, I thought that was my name. And he said, "Remember my suffering." And so he shot all this emotional stuff that he had when he was dying, you could say. He had doubt, extreme doubt. He had love for his mama. You know, he had compassion for people that was dying with him. And he had fear. He had all these emotions, but they're very extreme. He wanted to live, and he also had that betrayal feeling. He had a lot of this stuff, and it embedded into my system so much that I couldn't talk for 4 days. And within that time, I didn't know I was being cleansed, because every time I tried to speak, I would cry. I would cry. And his mother or sister or his girlfriend or somebody behind me, I didn't know, I didn't ask, but there was a woman behind me that kind of was like this all the time, wearing white and a blue shawl of some kind. She was kind of, I think she might have been raking me or trying to push me around or something, you know. So during that time, 4 days, we ended up at my first experience with channeling. And we went to this lady's house, we got invited, so I was listening to her. So she talks funny. You know, that channeling talk, first time I heard it, she talks funny. But they were asking questions. They asked everybody to ask her a question. So when it came to me, I couldn't talk. I just stood up and I cried. So she said, "Come here." So I walked up and she said, "Give me a hug." So I leaned over and she whispered, she said, "Congratulations." She said, "You met the master himself." So I asked her, I said, "Well, could you tell him something?" She said, "Yeah." What do you want me to tell him? Tell him, "Thank you." So that was necessary. But cleansing, as men need to do, is learn to cry. It's very healing. It'll cure everything. That's the most beautiful gift we have, is the tear. A tear, just a drop. It's good. You know, it's good for laughter. It's a beautiful gift to cry. That's one of our ceremonies, Kampalecha. So that's what I had to do before I got introduced into this realm of beauty that you carry as well. I had to cleanse myself to stand here to look at every one of you. I have to do that. Otherwise I was sitting down there, riding a big motorcycle with Buffalo Billy or something. So the cleansing had to take place. Then the next was that the children were the one that led me to this walk. My brother and I, he's the only one that's certified to teach K through 12 in South Dakota. I think there's 2 of them. He's one of them. I didn't get certified, but I did it anyway. We had a different system. So, but within this teaching way, I was teaching right brain ways of doing the thinking. And the system is left brain way. So it just dawned on me, I said, hey, you kids, this is your classroom. You could, whatever you want, whatever you guys want to learn, we'll do that. What do you want to learn? So it took about 2 weeks from K to 12 to write down 10 things that you want to learn. 10 things. So within 2 weeks, we did like a public little thing that you open up these little pieces of paper and you write on the chalkboard what they were. At that time, when we did this, the number one thing that the kids wanted to learn was UFOs. UFOs. The second one was Bigfoot. And he's here. They wanted to learn about dreaming. They wanted to learn about spirits. They wanted to learn about singing and dancing and doing all these natural things. And it just amazed me. It had nothing to do with arithmetic, spelling, or geography. It did nothing like that. It was all a natural way. And one of the things that I learned during my ceremonial time, the first time I heard it was from a medicine man in Cheyenne River. He got up. He said, "The birds are right-brained people. All the animals are right-brained people. The clouds, they're right-brained." And he was talking nature, right-brained. And he said, "The star people, they're all right-brained." Then he said, "Indian people are right-brained." And that was the first time I heard that. And I had to learn about what does that mean? What does that mean? So, he's one of the star relatives that he works with the ways of nature. So they said UFOs. The kids said UFOs. So what I had to do is I had to go back in ceremony. We worked with a group of about 12 men in and out of ceremony, and I had to first go step by step. And I knew it already, but I had to do it because our circle of men had to go through the process. So one of the first questions I had was, are there aliens? You know, we don't like the word alien because it separates. It separates. It's a negative term. It's not our term. We didn't grow up with that word alien. We didn't grow up with the word EBE, extraterrestrials, extraterrestrial biological entities. Nothing like that. The terminology just didn't exist. So we grew up with the word Wichachpe, the brothers and sisters of the stars. The Spirit told us, do not pray to them. They're here, they're your brothers and they're your sisters. They're here to help you. Just ask for help and they'll help you. So they developed all these terminologies that create all this stuff within your system that blocks the energy, the love that they have. So I worked with all these guys, Dr. Richard Boy and all these hypnotherapists that use this word. So now they broke that and they use the word star people. Star people. And it took a long time. It took a long time.
For more information on the next Star Knowledge Conference, call Alan at 818-661-7437 or go to starknowledgeconference.com.